Shalom, shalom, family. My name is Brother Netanyahu ben YaHUaH.
And my name is Mordecai ben YaHUaH.
Shalom. Welcome to YaHUaH Commonwealth Ministries, where we are a Bible teaching ministry, line upon line, precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little, to get the understanding that we need to get from Ruach Kadesh, brothers and sisters. Hey, but before we get started, we're going to have an opening scripture by Mordecai.
Open scripture will be coming from Revelation chapter 22, 14 and 15. And it reads, "Blessed are those who keep the laws, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For outside are dogs, sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and worship of gods, Elohim, and everyone who profess to love, yet practice breaking the law." May the reading of the word of YaHUaH have a blessing in YaHush's name. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, family. Again, welcome to YaHUaH Commonwealth Ministry. As always, go get your Bibles or your scriptures. We are never here to conform or convert anybody, but we are here to share our information, brothers and sisters. And we are not a God teaching ministry. So if you are expecting us to teach you God, this is not the correct place for you to be. So you might want to click off right now. But if not, I encourage you to follow along to understand what we're dealing with and why we don't deal with teaching God. Because our mission is, we want to bring all men to the knowledge of the name of the Creator YaHUaH, and that He is not a God, a Lord, a El, a Elohim, a Aloha, etc., brothers and sisters. That's what the Bible teaches. Do not make a God, do not bow down to a God, and don't take the name of the Creator to bring it to nothing, brothers and sisters. So, what we want to deal with today is the healing of the nations. I know prior we did several lessons about the destruction of the nations, the destruction of YaHUaH, the gathering of YaHUaH. Now we got to deal with the gathering of the nations also, brothers and sisters, because the judgment isn't just on YaHUaH alone. The judgment is on the whole planet, all nations. Why? Because all nations have been dibbling and dabbling behind one tree in the midst called God, that gave us religion to believe in a God-worshiping system, brothers and sisters. So therefore, the nations are going to have to be atoned also with the house of YaHUaH to be atoned for their sins against the Creator YaHUaH by dealing with a veil of deception, brothers and sisters. Simple as that. But hey, YaHUaH is merciful, and YaHUaH will put this earth in order, brothers and sisters. And whether we like it or not, we are going to follow suit. But He's going to put that Ruach on us to where we're going to have the joy now of serving YaHUaH without the distractions of God telling us, don't go worship YaHUaH, bow down to me and I give you everything you need. No, everything that I need, YaHUaH has, brothers and sisters. So this is where we want you guys to learn and understand why we don't teach for God. We teach against all things that are God, because the Father said to do such, brothers and sisters, to teach against gods, because He gave it to us in Torah. Your whole Bible is talking about don't worship gods, basically. So the one that said don't worship God, he must not be a God. That's right. He's not a God. He's the Creator. And gods are destructive to us in our praise and worship, brothers and sisters. But hey, the healing of the nations, right? We want to start this off in Revelation chapter 17, because there's this system of religion, which is a beastly system. They have deceived the whole world. Who's in control of this system, or who's running this system? Satan, the dragon, that old serpent called God, brothers and sisters, have deceived the whole nation. And symbolically, he has the kingdoms of men under his thumb, and the kingdom of men are doing his will to destroy other kingdoms of men with his doctrine or his bad wine, brothers and sisters. So now we got to begin to labor in the vineyard of YaHUaH to straighten things out until the Mashiach returns to fulfill the will of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters. So let's run down this harlot right quick. Revelation 17, verse 1. When you get there, go ahead.
And there came one of the 7 Malachim, who had the 7 bowls, and talked with me, saying to me, Come, I will show you the sentence of the great whore that sits upon many waters.
Hey, what are the many waters? The many waters are the nations, brothers and sisters. It says the seas in some translation. Well, the seas are the people, and the people make up the nations, brothers and sisters. So the nations are dealing with a harlot doctrine, brothers and sisters, that is given to us by Satan, the dragon, that old serpent, the devil called God, brothers and sisters, that all the kings of the earth has been drinking the wine of her fornication, or have been practicing her illegitimate doctrine, brothers and sisters. And there came one of the 7 Malachims who had the 7 bowls and talked with me, saying to me, Come, I will show you the sentence of the great whore that sits upon many waters or many nations. Go ahead.
With whom the kings of the earth has committed fornication, practicing idolatry, God worshiping, the worship of Elohim, and the inhabitant of the earth have been made drunken with the wine of her fornication.
So how do we know this verse is true? Because all the world deals with right now is gods, Els, Elohims, Aloahs, Baals, Lord gods, brothers and sisters. Where does that come from? That comes from this harlot that has given all the kings of the earth the wine of her fornication, basically, brothers and sisters, or her adultery, basically. That's how we know this is true. We see it. We see the mark of the beast, 666. That's anti-YaHUaH, anti-YaHUshah, anti-Torah, brothers and sisters, because no one is dealing with YaHUaH, no one is dealing with YaHUshah, and no one is dealing with Torah. Why? Because all the kings of the earth have been drinking the wine of the cup of this harlot fornication, or simply being taught her religious doctrines. And there are plenty of doctrines to go around, brothers and sisters. So hey, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, practice idolatry, which the law says don't make idols, God worship, don't bow down or worship or make gods, the worship of Elohim, the worshiping of multiple gods or Els or Baals, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made stupid, have been made drunk with her doctrine of God worship. It is a doctrine of deception, because YaHUaH is not a God, and he did not give us God worship, brothers and sisters, but made drunk with the wine of her fornication, which is her doctrine, her teachings. Go ahead.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the midst of God worshipers, God worship of Elohim. And I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet-colored beast, full of names, abomination, thing having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So hey, he said, so he carried me away into the Ruach, into the midst of God worshipers of Elohim, right? So a whole bunch of nations that are God worshipers. Now, YaHUaH is sitting in the midst and he's seeing what's going on. The same way YaHUaH was told, Son of man, look through this wall and see what the men of Yasharal are doing. Do you see their abominations, right? So he said, hey, I was looking in the midst of God worshipers of Elohim, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet-colored beast, what they call a church today, right? But hey, we got to be careful, because there's a whole lot of church out here today, brothers and sisters, and all of them are funneling their attention to a harlot that is sitting on them, teaching them, pouring out her wine of fornication. And he says that, and the woman sitting on a colored beast, full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Hey, why is she full of the names of blasphemy? Because when you say, well, brother, God got many names, I do agree. Because those are the names of blasphemy. Every name of God, every title of God is being produced by this woman who is sitting on the nations, pouring her wine of fornication on them, and they're drunk. Hey, brother, God got many names. You can call God anything. Well, we don't deal with worshiping God. We don't deal with teaching God because YaHUaH has one name. YaHUaH is one. Oh, hear, O YaHUaH, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 through 6. YaHUaH is our Father. YaHUaH is one. You must love YaHUaH with all your heart, mind, soul, and your strength, brothers and sisters. So, hey, yeah, God got many names. And when you can't single out YaHUaH from God, then you have been drinking the wine of the fornication of this teaching from Satan. God, the devil, the dragon, brothers and sisters. It's right here in your pages on your Bible or in your scriptures. Let us read for understanding that we may be able to fix ourselves, clean ourselves up, that we may labor in YaHUaH's vineyard, brothers and sisters. Verse 4,
And the woman was arrayed with purple and scarlet colors, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearl, and having a golden cup in her hand, full of abomination and filthiness of her fornication.
Hey, she don't have scriptures in her hand. She got cannons in her hand, brothers and sisters. She got her own thoughts, her own teaching. She'll tell you about some things in the Bible, but then she'll want to assert it and mix it and mingle it with her filth and evil, brothers and sisters. Hey, we got to understand what we're dealing with here. God is a trap house, brothers and sisters. Be careful that you don't fall into quicksand of the doctrines of God. Let's come out of the jungle of destruction, brothers and sisters, and go into the garden of salvation of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters. Verse 5.
And upon her head was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, Mother of Harlots, and of the abomination of the earth.
Wait a minute. And upon her head was a name written. Remember, she's full of names of blasphemy anyway. Every God that you know as a God, every Lord, every El, every Elohim is in this woman's cup. And you are drinking it wholesale, brothers and sisters. It says, Mystery, Babylon the Great. Hey, that's why we struggle with truth and righteousness, because there's a mystery of inequity at work, brothers and sisters. So when they talk about the MOAB or the MOBA or whatever, the mark of the beast, hey, what is the mark of the beast? It starts with her doctrine, her indoctrination, brothers and sisters, that you shall be anti-YaHUaH, anti-YaHUshua, anti-Torah. Now the whole world, the whole nations have been sipping the mark of the beast, have been agreeing in the right hand of fellowship with the mark of the beast, have been accepting the doctrines in the seat of their intelligence of the mark of the beast, brothers and sisters, which is a sinful doctrine. Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of many churches or many synagogues or many temples, or just plainly God worship, brothers and sisters. Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother harlot, the mother of the harlots, and the abomination of the earth. The earth is wicked. The earth is full of abomination. And now the earth has to be atoned, brothers and sisters. So, hey, you need to get your house in order real fast so that you will be able to go to the place of safety at the time of the reckoning of the Mashiach when he returns with the anger of YaHUaH for this harlot making the whole earth drunk with her God-worshiping doctrines, brothers and sisters. Let's go to Revelation 19 right quick. Revelation 19, and let's pick it up at verse 21. Revelation 19 and 19, 19 and 19. Because eventually the beast, or the dragon, which is Satan, the mother harlot, and her children, the beastly king, and her false prophet. The reason why it's 666 is because their information is incomplete, brothers and sisters. The dragon is incomplete. He will never rule forever. The beastly king is not going to rule forever. And the false prophet is not going to forever teach against Torah, brothers and sisters. This is the wisdom behind 666. But hey, the nations are going to be destroyed behind it. But the nations, there's going to be healing for the nations in the end after all the destruction, brothers and sisters. Well, let's take a peek at it, right? Revelation 19:19.
And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him who sat on the horse and against his army.
So hey, the kingdoms of men are going to try to fight the Mashiach and the holy Malachims and those who are resurrected at the first resurrection to meet YaHUaH in the air, to come down on Mount Olive to wage war on the world. Because remember in Revelation 15:11, that 7 trumpets sounded, and now the kingdoms of this world, being the kingdoms of men, the seas, or the waters, or the beast, will become the kingdom of our Father YaHUaH and his Mashiach, brothers and sisters, to put all things back in order. And what that means is that the nations are going to have to seek YaHUaH in the end for salvation also, brothers and sisters. So hey, when we know what to call the end of the world comes upon us, it's not just YaHUaH, but the whole planet of all the nations are going to feel this effect, brothers and sisters. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him who sat on the horse and against his army. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And the beast was captured, and with him the false prophet who worked signs before him, with which he deceived those who have received the mark of the beast, and those who worship his likeness. Those both were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone.
Hey, and the beast, which is the political leader or the beastly king that's going to have the so-called New World Order established, right? He says that, and with him, the false prophet, the man that's teaching against Torah, right? He says that the false prophet who worked signs before him, with which he deceived those who have received the mark of the beast, which means that either you gave it the right hand of fellowship because you agree to be a Christian, or you agree to be a Muslim, or you agree to be a Hindu, or you agree to be an atheist, or you agree to be an Israelite. Whatever it is, it ain't dealing with YaHUaH that you have given your allegiance to, and you did it willfully in the seat of your intelligence. That's why the mark that YaHUaH are going to see is going to be in your forehead and in your right hand, because you agreed to worship the abomination of the earth, brothers and sisters, because you gave it the right hand of fellowship. Right? So he says, hey, they received the mark of the beast, and those who worshiped his likeness, his image, because the law says, thou shalt not make a god, but you making images all over the place that do not represent YaHUaH, so is that not God worship? So hey, he says also, these were both cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone. Who? The beastly king and the false prophet first and foremost. They're going to be in hell, the lake of fire, even before Satan get there. But hey, we understand what we read in the family, and we're just trying to share it with you. Because the healing of the nations is going to have to happen because the nations are going to be beat down because of their agreement with the abomination of the earth, God, Satan, the devil, the dragon. Right? 21.
And the rest were slain with the sword which proceeded from the mouth of him who sat upon the horse, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
So, hey, and the mother of harlots, or her children who are left holding this doctrine of damnation, are going to get it too, brothers and sisters. The wine of the wrath of the fornication of the beast, the harlot, the mother of harlots, that the kings of the earth have drinking her doctrine. Because like Satan told Eve, hey, if you listen to my doctrine, you shall be like us gods, knowing righteousness and evil. So hey, we see the beastly system of the mark of the beast all the way in Genesis 3. So it ain't that new to us when we reread it in Revelation 19 or 11 or 22, or wherever we read it at. We understand it, brothers and sisters, as plain as day, and we're trying to help you understand it so you don't have people on the corner screaming at you talking about the God is coming to save Israel and kill all the white people. Come on, man. That's not what this is all about. YaHUaH is the Father of love. But before you can love the Father, you got to clean yourself up. If you don't clean yourself up from your sins and your God worship, then yeah, YaHUaH, the Creator, is going to deal with you through YaHUshua the Mashiach, brothers and sisters. And you will be out of the book of life, headed to the lake of fire, brothers and sisters. This is just simplicity though, right? But hey, the nations got to get it, brothers and sisters. They going to get it. When they going to get it? Hey, let's go to Malachi right quick. Chapter 24, Malachi 24, because again, we gotta see when it's all gonna start. When as they say, the crap hit the fan, right? Here's where the crap is gonna hit the fan. Malachi chapter 24, and pick it up at verse 29. Go ahead.
Immediately, but after the tribulation of those days will the sun be darkened, and the moon will not give her light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the power of the heaven will be shaken.
Hey, the son of YaHUaH, our king, our priest, is going to come back and shake up the world, right? You think Muhammad Ali said, I shook up the world. But YaHUaH is going to say YaHUaH should shake it, rattle it, bounce it a couple times to put it back in order, brothers and sisters. And when he do that, the nations are going to feel the wrath of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters. When? Immediately after the days of great tribulation that are upon us, brothers and sisters. So immediately, but after the tribulation of those days, will the sun be darkened, and the moon will not give her light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Go ahead.
And then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then will all the tribes of the earth mourn.
Why they mourning? Because they getting a head whooping. Brothers and sisters, they being deleted, basically. They getting crushed. And now they're going to need some healing. See, what is the healing of the nations? We got to figure that out, because we don't want everybody to think that they're all going to be destroyed. There's going to be some people left. And the people who are left are now going to adhere to the Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13, right? For the conclusion, let's hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Reverence YaHUaH, keep his commandments, for it's the whole duty of mankind, brothers and sisters, right? And then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then will all the tribes of the earth mourn. Go ahead.
And they will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his Malachim with a great sound of a trumpet.
Hey, at the seventh trumpet, when the kingdoms of this world are proclaimed to be the kingdom of YaHUaH and his Mashiach, brothers and sisters, because they're going to beat the nations down. They're going to beat the dragon down, lock him in the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. They're going to take the beast king and the false prophet and throw them in the lake of fire, and they're going to be visible for 1,000 years outside of the holy city Jerusalem. So you want to know where the lake of fire is going to be at? It's going to be right outside the city of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters. Scriptures tell us that. It tells us that, right? Hey, but okay, let's continue, right? Did we finish? Go ahead, 31.
And they will gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the earth to the other.
So he got to gather the house of YaHUaH and put them in order. And he got to gather the nations, because he has to have healing for the nations also, brothers and sisters. Let's go to YaHUaH, the 38th chapter, right? Because before the nations can get healed, they got to get beat down also, brothers and sisters. YaHUaH, or Ezekiel, chapter 38, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. When you get there, you go ahead.
The word of YaHUaH came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against God of the land of Magog, the chief prince of the Meshach and Tubal, and prophesied against him.
Okay, so then the word of YaHUaH came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesied against them. Well, hey, we need to know who these countries are, because people say, well, this is just evil all over the world, right? Well, remember, the dragon has a beastly king and a false prophet, right? So we can look at what these nations are in Genesis 10. So we know that Magog is of the seed of YaHUaH, right? And that he has a brother, Gomer, basically. And today, what are these nations? What religion or what wine governed Magog? Well, Magog is Russia, roughly, and Russia has Orthodox Christians, it has atheists, and it has Islamic subjects in its kingdom, right? So, hey, the two major religions that God, the land of Magog, is dealing with is Christianity and Islam, brothers and sisters. But hey, ain't nobody telling you that for the most part. The wine of the fornication of this woman is doctrines, brothers and sisters. It is religion, right? So hey, it says that the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesied against them. Go ahead.
And say, this is what Father YaHUaH say. Behold, I am against you, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn you around and put hooks into your jaws. And I will bring you out with all your armies, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed in full armor, a great company with large buckler and shield, and a small shield, all of them handling the sword.
Hey, who is God? God is the dragon, brother, or is simply, if you want it, the beastly king who have ratified the nations to come together to fight at the valley of Jehoshaphat, brothers and sisters, during the days of great tribulation, when YaHUaH is going to come back and put an end to it, because all the nation's armies are down in Yasharal in the valley of Jehoshaphat trying to fight, because the ones from the east came over the Euphrates River to fight those of the west, which now you got these two major drunken doctrines finna go at it, but it's YaHUaH's plan to bring them together to bust their heads. And now, if your army is done, then your nations are defenseless, brothers and sisters. Now you have no choice but to bow down. But people are still going to be wicked. That's why it says in that 19th chapter, 21 verse, and the rest of them were killed also because they don't want to serve YaHUaH. Simple as that, brothers and sisters. Verse 5. Who are some of the participants?
Persia, Ethiopia, and Lebanon are with them. Libya,
go ahead,
are all with them. All of them with shields and helmets. Magog and all his troops.
That's Gomer.
And all his troops.
Who is Gomer? Gomer is modern day Turkey, brothers and sisters. What religion governed Turkey? For the most part, it is Islam, brothers and sisters. So you have an Islam and a Christian collaboration together, brothers and sisters, to stand against YaHUaH, because they're dealing with Satan, they're dealing with a beastly king, they're dealing with a false prophet, and now they're trying to keep their wine of fornication viable in the earth. That's why the earth is full of the abomination of the harlot, brothers and sisters. Why? Because all the kings were in agreement to it. All you got to do is go back to the book of YaHUaH, chapter 6, and look at who was in cahoots against YaHUaH, and go back in the 3rd chapter, look at what Nebuchadnezzar did when he said, hey, blow the sackbut, the trumpet, and all those things, and when you hear this sound, bow down to his wine. What is his wine? Marduk out there in the plains, 90 feet tall, for people to bow down to it. That made the people an abomination, brothers and sisters, to YaHUaH. Are we reading our book for understanding? Or we just sitting there talking about all that's done away with because the brothers that's teaching me, telling me that, hey, that ain't what that really is. YaHUaH is serious about his truth and righteousness, brothers and sisters, and you need to be also. So Persia, which is modern day Iran or Iran, Ethiopia, Libya, all these nations are going to be revitalized in the last days of great tribulation to deal with the foolishness. And even after the millennium kingdom, because they're going to be spoken in the 39th chapter, after the millennium kingdom is all said and done, brothers and sisters. But go ahead, Persia, Ethiopia, Libya are with them, and all of them with shields and helmets. They got war gear. Gomer and all his troops, the house of Togarmah, go ahead.
the house of Togomar from the far north with all his troops. Many people are with you.
Go ahead.
You, O God, get prepared. Prepare yourself, you and all your company that are assembling about you. Assemble about you.
So, wait a minute. So, in the book of YaHUaH, what you call Joel, right? In his book, he says, hey, tell all the nations to prepare for what? War. Why? Because he's going to bring you all down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. The multitudes upon multitudes in the day of decision, that when YaHUaH return, gather the saints and have an army following him, he ain't coming directly to save nobody. He come to rectify the anger of YaHUaH against the nations who are drunk with the fornication and the abomination of the harlot that sits on many lands. Brothers and sisters, are we reading for understanding, or are we too afraid to understand what the end is going to look like so we can prepare ourselves for the salvation of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters? So you, oh God, get prepared. Prepare yourself, you and all your companies that are assembled about you, and become the commander of them. Go ahead.
After many days you will be visited, mustered from war. In the latter years you will come into the land that is restored from the revenging of the sword, whose people were gathered from many nations to the mountain of YaHUaH, which have long been wasted. They were brought forth out of the nation, and they now dwell safely, all of them.
Amen. So are the Jews dwelling safely in the land today? So obviously they're not the people. Are all the nations coming up against them today? Because they're not the people. So YaHUaH said, all this mercy I'm going to show to the house of YaHUaH when I heal them, when I pardon their sins, and I bring them back to the lands of their fathers, the land of Abraham, the land of Isaac, the land of Jacob. The nations are going to have to get a whooping also, brothers and sisters. So hey, he says, when I bring my children back, they're going to dwell safely. Ain't nobody bombing. Everybody, they being bombed right now. They run around throwing rocks at tanks and stuff. Come on. We're talking about when YaHUaH is putting these things back in true reality for the house of YaHUaH, right? So after many days, you will be visited, because he going to beat your butt at the valley of Jehoshaphat during the great days after the days of great tribulation. Cut your armies off, deal with the nations. He's going to beat the nations down to a pulp, and then they're going to be like, hey, we want to go to the mountain of the house of YaHUaH, the mountain of YaHUaH, because the law shall go from Zion and the word from Jerusalem. We want to go and learn the ways of the Creator YaHUaH, now our Father also. But to get to the healing of the nations, they got to go through this atrocity that they brought upon themselves, right? Go ahead, verse 9.
Verse 9. You will ascend and come like a storm. You will be like a cloud to cover the land, you and all your troops, and many people with you.
Amen. So who do we know coming with them? We know that Meshach and Tubal are coming down against the land of unwalled cities. We know that the Persians, or Iran, the Ethiopians, Libya are coming also, asking, are you going to go up and take a spoil against the city that came out of many nations? What people come out of many nations? The captives. The house of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters, because we're scattered in all nations. We got to come out of all nations. And then when we come out, we go into the wilderness to be retaught Torah, while YaHUaH is still beating down the nations until they submit, brothers and sisters. Then the healing of the nations will begin. We're going to get to that still, right? The 39th chapter, verse 1.
Therefore, son of man, prophesy against God and say, this is what Father YaHUaH say. Behold, I am against you, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn you around and lead you on, bring you up from the part of the north, sending you upon the mountain of YaHUaH. Then I would knock the bow out of your left hand and cause your arrow to fall from your right hand.
Go ahead.
You will fall upon the mountain of YHUH, you, all your troops, and the people who are with you. I will give you to every sort of raven's bird and to the beasts of the field to be devoured.
Hey, if you go back to Revelation 19, a couple verses out, he said that all the fowls of the heavens come and feast on the flesh of kings, feast on the flesh of captains, feast on the flesh of horsemen, etc., brothers and sisters, because this is immediately after the days of great tribulation, where YaHUaH have all the nations' armies down in the valley of decision, or the valley of Jehoshaphat, and he is giving them the butt whooping, or he giving them the business, basically, brothers and sisters. And then he leaves from there and he deal with the nations. And it takes the nations time to recover, because they're going to recover in the healing of the nations, because they got to learn YaHUaH also. Like Yahshua learned in the wilderness, so shall the nations receive their healing by learning the will of YaHUaH through Torah. Brothers and sisters, go ahead, all right?
Verse 5. You will fall upon the open field, for I have spoken, said Father YaHUaH.
So, what's the open field? The plain of the valley of Jehoshaphat, brothers and sisters, but go ahead, all right?
And I will send a fire on Magog, and among those who dwell secretly on the isles, and they would know that I am YaHUaH.
Hey, so he's gonna send fire down on Magog, right? And let's qualify that. Let's hold right here right quick. Let's go to Revelation 20 right quick. Revelation 20. Let's read prophecy, testify in the Renewed Testament, or what you call the New Testament. It ain't a New Testament, it's renewed, brothers and sisters. But hey, let's see this act. Because he says that, hey, you will fall in the open field, for I have spoken, it says, Father YaHUaH, I will send fire on Magog and among those who dwell securely on the isles, and they will know that I am YaHUaH, right? Revelation 20, and let's pick it up at verse 8.
Verse
20 and verse 8. Go ahead.
And will go out to deceive, seduce, the leading and lead astray the nation which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, a number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city. What's
the camp of the saints? The house of Yahshua, brothers and sisters. It doesn't have any walls around it. Who's the wall? YaHUaH, brothers and sisters. Yahusha, brothers and sisters. The mighty Malachims, brothers and sisters. So hey, they think they're going to come up. I mean, you've been sitting here for almost a millennium, and you have seen the glory of YaHUaH, and you let Satan come out of the bottomless pit and deceive you with a great deception again. Hey, that's why it's hard for people to come out of God worship, because the deception is so strong. The delusion is so strong, brothers and sisters. But there is a remedy. All you got to do is trust in YaHUaH's word, brothers and sisters. But what did YaHUaH do to Gog and Magog and all the people that come along with Gog and Magog? Go ahead.
And fire came down from YaHUaH out of heaven and consumed them.
And fire came down out of Shammah and consumed them, right? Let's go back, because we just read what was prophesied out of the mouth of Yekaziah. Right? Precept upon precept, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, to get the understanding, brothers and sisters. Verse 6, read it again.
Verse 6. And I will send fire upon Magog and among those who dwell secretly on the isles, and they will know that I am YaHUaH.
Go ahead.
So I will make my holy name known in the midst of my people, Yahshua, and I will not let them pollute my holy name anymore. Then the heathen will know that I am YaHUaH, the Holy One of Yahshua.
Then the nations will know YaHUaH does exist. YaHUaH is real, brothers and sisters, and that he has one name and one people, that he allow other peoples to join to his people. One law for the homeborn Yahshua, one law for the stranger. Right? You read verse 8.
No, verse 8.
Go ahead.
Behold, it is come, and it is done, said Father YaHUaH. This is the day of which I have spoken.
Hey, this is the acceptable year of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters. He can speak it as it already came to pass because can't nobody stop it. Simple as that, right? Let's go back to Revelation 22. We got a couple more after this. Revelation, the 22nd chapter. And we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Revelation, the 22nd chapter, verse 1. When you get there, go ahead.
And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding from the throne of YaHUaH and of the Lamb.
So, hey, now the world, the nations have been beat down so bad to the point now they need to be healed, brothers and sisters. Now, from the throne of YaHUaH, the healing of the nations will flow. Brothers and sisters, from the throne of YaHUaH, the healing of the nations will begin to flow, right? How does it begin to flow? With healing waters, right? And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding from the throne of YaHUaH and of the Lamb. Go ahead.
In the middle of its streets, and on every side of the river was the tree of life, which bare 12 fruits, and yield her fruits every moon. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nation.
Now here's another parable, or here's a riddle, right? We got to break it down to understand this, right? He says that not only did this river, a water of life, crystal clear, proceeding from YaHUaH, but in the middle of its streets of the kingdom of YaHUaH, right, on either side of the river was the tree of life. What was representing the tree of life? The 12 tribes of the saints of the house of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters. What do? They bear 12 fruits, right? What was the fruit? The healing of the nations. What was the medicine in the healing for the nations? It is the word of YaHUaH to recreate life, brothers and sisters, because after all the great destruction, certain things need to be put back into life. Man is killing the earth right now, and the earth is fighting back, but YaHUaH gotta say YaHUshua back, and they're gonna re-heal the whole earth, brothers and sisters, because it is designed to be here forever, right? So he says that, hey, which bears 12 fruits, and yield her fruit in every moon, because we keep track of the moon cycle, so we can keep track of the festivals of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters. So it's important. Like I say, every lesson we do, we try to keep it updated for you on our board, so you know how we are traveling every moon in observance of a new moon, a feast day, or a Shabbat of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters. It is important. It shall flow. The instructions is the healing of the nation, brothers and sisters. Torah will be the healing of the nations, brothers and sisters, because YaHUaH is going to now revitalize the nations also. Because they're going to need some real healing. Simple as that. And the leaves of the trees were for the teachings of the nations, or the medicine of correction for the nations. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And there will be no more curses, but the throne of YaHUaH and of the Lamb will be in it. And his servant will serve him.
Go ahead.
And they will see his face, and his name will be in their forehead.
Hey, his name will be completely in their forehead. They will have the knowledge of YaHUaH, and they will not lose the knowledge of YaHUaH anymore, brothers and sisters. So are you sealed now with the name of YaHUaH in your forehead, or are you dealing with a harlot that's sitting on many waters, teaching you behind one tree in the midst of the garden, eating swine's flesh and the abomination, brothers and sisters? So therefore, if so, then you have already taken the mark of the beast, because you gave it the right hand of fellowship, and you did it consciously, brothers and sisters. Let's go to YaHUaH or Ezekiel again, the 47th chapter. Let's see how this pure water, clear as crystal, went forth from the throne of YaHUaH into the lands to heal the planet and the nations with the word of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters, being taught by the priest nation, YaHUaH. YaHUaH said, if you obey my voice in the ancient times, you shall become a priest nation and a holy nation. Now it has come to fulfillment that this nation of the 12 trees on both sides of the river of the pure water of life is healing the nations, brothers and sisters. Zechariah 47 and verse 1. Aki, when you get there, you go ahead.
Afterward, he brought me back to the door of the house of YaHUaH, and behold, there was water flowing from under the threshold of the house of YaHUaH toward the east.
Go ahead.
For the front of the house of YaHUaH faced east. The water came down from under the right side of the house of YaHUaH on the south side of the altar.
Go ahead.
He then brought me out through the north gate and led me around the outside to the beautiful gate facing east. And behold, the water was flowing on the right side. And as the man went on eastward with the line in his hand, he measured off 1,000 cubits. And he led me about 1,700 feet. And he led me through the waters, and the water came to my ankle. Again, he measured off 1,000 cubits as he led me through the waters, and the waters came to my knee. Again, he measured off 1,000 cubits as he led me through the waters, and the water came to my waist.
So what's going on is a Malak with the plumb line in his head is measuring out 1,750 cubic feet. The first measurement, water flowed from the throne of YaHUaH for the healing of the nations, for the healing of the planet, and it came to his ankle. He measured over another 1,000 feet, and the water came to his knees, and another 1,000 feet to his waist. Wait a minute, something's going on. Hey, the pure water, the crystal clear, the water of life, proceeding from the throne of YaHUaH and the Lamb, is for the healing of the nations, because on each side of the river are 12 trees. The 12 trees represent the 12 tribes of the house of Yasharal, and they're going to be for the healing of the nations, because they're going to say, hey, take us with you, because we know YaHUaH is with you, and we want to learn the laws of YaHUaH also, because we saw the great destruction that was commanded by YaHUaH for Yahusha to do to bring the earth back under subjection of truth, righteousness, and holiness. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's okay. That just means that you are dealing with the mark of the beast, you are dealing with the harlot, you are dealing with the wine of her fornication, and the lake of fire is going to be for you, because your name is not going to be found written in the book of life, brothers and sisters. But hey, he says, and in verse 3, and as the man went on eastward with the line in his hand, he measured off 1,000 cubits, about 1,750 feet, and he led me through the waters, and the water came to the ankle. Again, he measured off 1,000 cubits, and as he led me through the waters, and the water came to the knee. Again, he measured off 1,000 cubits, as he led me through the waters, and the water came to the waist. Go ahead.
Verse 5. He measured off still another 1,000 cubits. But it was a river that I could not walk through, for the water has risen deep enough to swim in, a river that could not be walked through.
Hey, so this is deep medicine, brothers and sisters. This is deep healing for the planet that's going to go out into the lands. Boy, YaHUaH had sent the wormwood to poison the majority of the fresh waters. Well, now he got to replenish the fresh drinking waters, brothers and sisters, because it's part of the healing of the nations. The nations are going to need some healing, brothers and sisters, in order to continue to come up and worship YaHUaH, the King of Hosts, in Jerusalem at the feast days still, as it says in Zechariah, the 16th chapter, brothers and sisters. But continue,
Verse 6. And he said to me, Son of man, have you seen this? Then he led me back to the bank of the river. Now, when I have returned, behold, on the bank of the river were a great number of trees on this side and on the other side.
Go ahead.
Then he said to me, these water flow toward the eastern region and go down into the desert, the Araba in the Jordan Valley, and on out into the Dead Sea.
Go ahead.
When the water flowed into the Dead Sea, the water will be healed.
Hey, the water of life flow into the yard in the Dead Sea is going to produce life. It's going to heal the waters, brothers and sisters. Like all the other lands that the waters were destroyed, the water of life is going to go all over and heal, brothers and sisters. The healing of the nations are going to come out of the water of pure life, brothers and sisters, which is going to flow crystal, which is going to be a river that you have to swim across. Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And it would be that every living creature that moveth in every place the river floweth will live. There will be a very great multitude of fish, because these water will flow there and will be healed. And everything that liveth where the river floweth, and it will be that fishermen will be standing along the side of the river, and from in Gadi and in Eglon, they will spread their nets. Their fish will be a very many kinds.
Okay, skip down to verse 12. Because we're talking about the healing of the waters, even as the water goes to the great sea of the Mediterranean, brothers and sisters, because the wormwood in Revelation, we know, hit the waters and it poisoned the water. Everything in the water died. So when YaHUaH sent the pure water, crystal of life, into the water that was poisoned and in the marshes, everything is going to be revitalized, right? Verse 12,
And on the banks of the river, on this side and on that side, will grow all kinds of trees for food. Their leaves will not wither, and their fruits will not be consumed. They will bear new fruits according to its moon, because their water flow out the sanctuary. And their fruits will be for food, and their leaves for medicine.
Hey, we get to go back and not to deal with processed foods anymore, brothers and sisters. We get to eat the richest of the land, the real fruit from the trees, and use the real herbs. Well, the FDA says, well, that's not been legalized. We don't want no one using these natural herbs right now. We want to give you this processed medicine that when you take one of its pills, you got 15 different ailments coming behind it, or what they call, when side effects, right? So you got 15 different side effects. Well, not when YaHUaH is healing the nations from the will of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters. And just like in Genesis, where YaHUaH told Adam, you may eat freely of all the trees of the garden because they're your meat and for your healing, basically. But he didn't need to be healed because he didn't sin yet, and there was no sickness in the earth, brothers and sisters. Now YaHUaH is going to eradicate sickness out of the earth for the most part, brothers and sisters, because we're going to be able to eat of all the trees of the fruit, and its leaves shall be for the healing of the nations, right? Just like the teachings of the 12 tribes are going to go out and they're going to heal your mind back to YaHUaH, because they were taught their mind was healed in the wilderness by YaHUaH being teaching them Torah before they go back into the land to receive the pure water, clear as crystal, right? You finished that?
Yes.
Let's go to, you read the 14th verse?
No, I'm at verse 13.
13, go ahead.
This is what Father YaHUaH say. These will be the boundary by which you are to divide the land for inheritance among the 12 tribes of YaHUaH. Yasser will have 2 portions.
YaHUaH will have 2 portions. Go ahead.
And you will inherit it, one as well as another. Because I lift up my hands, vowing an oath to give it to your father.
Who the fathers? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? Go ahead.
And this land will fall to you to inherit.
So this land will fall to the house of YaHUaH, the saints, the children of YaHUaH, brothers and sisters, because it is a promise. It is the promised land, brothers and sisters. And this time, it's going to extend from the Euphrates rivers all the way over to Egypt or Kemet. That's how big the land got to increase in the last days for our territory, because we are truly now going to be as the sand of the sea with unwalled villages. Brothers and sisters, simple as that, right? Revelation 21, we got one more after this. Revelation, the 21st chapter. Revelation 21, and let's pick it up at verse 1. So now, all this stuff is going to be renewed, right? Go ahead.
And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no more sea.
See, this is why you have to have that pure water crystal clear, because YaHUaH had YaHUaH destroy the water, brothers and sisters. Now he has to heal the waters. Don't nobody want to die of thirst, so he had to heal the waters again. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth has passed away, and there was no more seas. Go ahead.
And I, YaHUaH, saw the holy city, YaHUaH Shammah, coming down from YaHUaH out of heaven, preparing as a bride adorned to their husband.
So for their husband. So now this is a vision, brothers and sisters, because we know that Zerubbabel is going to build the last temple, brothers and sisters. It shall be made without hands of a man. It's going to be made with the hands of an immortal being, a spirit, resurrected, brothers and sisters. So now we're talking about the tabernacle of YaHUaH being rebuilt in the Holy Land, to where all men, all congregations are going to draw to it that are left in the rehealing process. Go ahead, Art.
And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of YaHUaH is with man, and he will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and YaHUaH himself will be with them and be their father.
And be their father. Go ahead.
And YaHUaH will wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there will be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, nor will there be any more pain, for the former thing has passed away. And he who sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said to me, Write, for these words are true and faithful.
Hey, right, it is written. These words are true and faithful, that we read part of it in YaHUaH, right? One more place, right? Micaiah chapter 4. Let's go to the prophet Micaiah. We're going to read chapter 4. We're going to pick this up at verse 1. Micaiah chapter 4, verse 7, page 705. Micaiah chapter 4. And pick it up at verse 1 when you get there, all right?
Chapter 4, verse 1. But in the last day it will come to pass that the mountain promotion of the house of YaHUaH will be established in the chief of the nation.
Wait a minute. So the healing of the nations are going to receive the house of YaHUaH reestablished in the last days, or where YaHUaH, we saw his throne come down from Shammah, that YaHUaH is here, or from Shemayim, that YaHUaH is now, his tabernacle or his house is with men, brothers and sisters. So now we're looking at all nations are going to come to the mountain, or the promotion of the house of YaHUaH, to learn Torah. Why I keep telling you about Torah? Because Torah ain't never going anywhere, brothers and sisters. Why? Because YaHUaH ain't never going anywhere, brothers and sisters. So you might as well learn to do the law now, so you'll be able to deal with it tomorrow in the kingdom. Because if not, your name will be blotted out of the book of life, and you will wait until judgment to be cast alive into the lake of fire with your God, Satan the devil. Simple as that, brothers and sisters. But in the last days, it will come to pass that the mountain, the promotion of the house of YaHUaH, will be established in the chief of the nations, which is the saints, YaHUaH. It will be raised above all congregations, and what?
all the people will eventually flow to it.
All the people that are left on the planet doing the healing of the nations will flow to it, brothers and sisters. Go ahead,
Verse 2. And many nations will come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain uplifted of YaHUaH and to the house of the father of Yaakov, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his path, because the law will depart from Zion, and the word of YaHUaH from Jerusalem.
Hey, we still dealing with the law in the last days. Remember, the last book of your Bible or your instructions, Revelation 22, verses 15 or 14, it says, we still are going to have to keep the commandments of the Creator, YaHUaH, brothers and sisters. Let's just get back to truth and righteousness. Let's live the right life before YaHUaH in this corrupt world that we're not looking to inherit. We're looking for the new heaven order, the new earth order, by the law and the will of YaHUaH for this planet to be healed for the nations, that they may continue to live on in truth and righteousness under the banner of YaHUaH. Verse 3.
And he will judge between many people and rebuke strong nation afar off.
When? At the valley of Jehoshaphat. And immediately after the great days of tribulation, when the sun is dark and the moon shall not give her light, and boom, at the seventh trumpet sound, here come YaHUaH, the first resurrection of the saints coming to meet him in the atmosphere. They're coming down on Mount Olivet, brothers and sisters, and all hell going to break loose on earth. You think tribulation is going to be rough? Wait till YaHUaH come and continue to finish the will of YaHUaH. Nobody's trying to scare you, just trying to give you the information so you can prepare yourself either to be resurrected because you're dead, or to be able to be accepted because you're still alive and you're dealing with truth and righteousness, right? He will judge, and he will judge between many people and rebuke strong nations afar off. Go ahead.
And they will beat their spears into plowshares, and they will beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not lift up a sword against nation, nor will they learn war anymore.
Hey, the order of YaHUaH is a shalom order, brothers and sisters. Nations will no longer lift up swords to nations. They're going to be like, man, we got our butt kicked so bad by YaHUaH. I'm just going to find my tree, my vineyard. I'm just going to chill, eat the fruit of my trees, basically. That's how bad the whooping is going to be, brothers and sisters. And the nations will need that healing. You know what I'm saying? You will no longer learn war in YaHUaH's kingdom, because there's no need for war or bucking or jockeying for territory, because he's going to give it all out respectively to everybody, and you're just going to deal with it and be happy for it as you learn Torah, brothers and sisters, in the healing of the nations, right?
Verse 4.
Verse 4, go ahead.
But every man would sit under his vine and under his fig tree, and none would make them afraid. For the mouth of YaHUaH of hosts has spoken it.
Hey, I ain't got to worry about you coming still in my territory, or you eating all my fruit off my tree, because everybody's going to have their own territory. Everybody got their own vineyard. It's going to be beautiful, brothers and sisters, in the kingdom of YaHUaH. Don't you want to work your way into paradise, as they say, into the kingdom of YaHUaH? Repent, therefore, the kingdom of YaHUaH is at hand. It will not continue to tarry much longer. Get your houses in order, brothers and sisters. Verse 22.
Verse 4 and 22.
I'm sorry. Read verse 2 again.
Verse 2. And many nations will come and say, come, and let us go up to the mountain, uplifting of YaHUaH, and to the house of the father of Yaakov, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his path, because the law will depart from Zion, and the word of YaHUaH from Jerusalem.
Read verse 6.
Verse 6. In that day, said YaHUaH, I will assemble her that is lame. I will gather her that is driven out, with her that I have afflicted, and I will make her that was lame a remedy, and her that was cast far away, a strong nation. And YaHUaH will reign over them in Mount Zion from that day forevermore.
So hey, he got to eventually grab the house of YaHUaH, bring them down, heal them, and get them back their land. Heal the nation, because he busts the nations down. They need some healing and some attention also. And they're going to say, let us now go up to the house of YaHUaH and learn his ways and keep his laws. So that's the healing of the nations. I hope someone got some understanding in YaHush's name. Hallelujah. Shalom, shalom, family.